Lop wajoro Ssenyonyi ekiri mu Palamenti omuliro gukoledde ensonga za General Museveni okwagala okutemula Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine kutwaleyo naawe ate osokubanga obyerabirako.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to second the motion paying tribute to our colleague, the Honourable Sarah Mateke Nyirabashiti, the woman representative for Kisoro District and Minister of State for Defence and Veteran Affairs. Her sudden demise is deeply saddening. On behalf of the opposition in Parliament and on my own behalf, I wish to extend deepest condolences to the bereaved family and the people of Kisoro District, whom she served as leader. It's unfortunate that she has died at her prime due to a non-communicable disease, as we have been told. Her prime being 50 years. Honorable Sarah was generally calm and reserved, not too outspoken, like the quintessential politician. When she previously served as Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, she exuded passion for her role as Minister for Youth and Children. Whenever we pressed her hard regarding issues of youth and children, including their welfare, government programs and promises to this peculiar part of the population, she always responded with a lot of composure. Even when you did not agree with Honorable Sarah Mateke, it was difficult to feud with her because of her calmness. She's the kind of person who would disarm you with her gentility. We've also learned that she was undertaking certain projects in her community. We pray and hope that those projects will live on after her as part of her legacy. Honourable Speaker, my colleague, the Honourable Minister, has mentioned, of late the vice of corruption has continued to eat up our country, being perpetrated by leaders at different levels and civil servants. I did not hear of the Honourable Sarah Mateke's name embroiled in any corruption scandal during her service in government. And if there was one, then I probably missed it. As we send her off, may we all as leaders reflect on the imperativeness of not getting involved in corruption, but also using our positions and platforms to fight corruption, which has become an impediment to Uganda's progress. Honourable Speaker, when the Honourable Sarah was transferred to the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs as Minister of State, I saw an interview of her on TV a couple of days into office, expressing her desire to serve the Ministry of Defence, the men and women in uniform, and the country at large with commitment in this new role that she was taking on. Unfortunately, again, as Honourable Both has mentioned, the Honourable Sarah has passed on just a short while after getting into this office, so she probably has not been able to achieve all that she set out to achieve. As we mourn the passing on of the Minister laying before us here, let us commit to improving the welfare of the men and women in uniform. We must resolve, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the question of salary enhancement for the UPDF, which falls under the ministry she was serving, and by extension, police and prisons. The living conditions of our men and women in uniform continue to be appalling. We must address this long overdue concern. Honourable Speaker, the commitment which Honourable Sarah exuded as she took over office would certainly involve ensuring discipline among our men and women in uniform, now that the Minister in charge told us about order therein. I would like to use this opportunity to re-echo the need to call to order the few elements among our armed forces who paint a bad image of the rest by brutalizing citizens at every opportunity. We continue to see stories of human rights violations by our uniformed personnel, something that should be in the past. On Saturday, 14th August 2021, retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa, in a televised address, warned security operatives against human rights violations and especially torture of suspects. That was an admission of this unacceptable behavior among some within the forces. Unfortunately, this warning was not followed up by stern action against perpetrators of the same. Right Honorable Speaker, this criminal behavior continues to happen to citizens and especially supporters of the opposition and leaders too. Last week, my party leader, the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, was hit with a projectile by police and the military, causing an injury to his leg, only for police to say that he slid and fell as he entered his car. Stories upon stories of brutality have been told by suspects who get abducted using drones by plainclothes operatives, only for them to be produced in court with torture marks. In fact, some have been freed by courts because of that torture that was occasioned on them. As we mourn the passing of the Honorable Sarah Mateke, may we commit to not allowing illegalities within our forces, because all of us are potential victims, regardless of our political shades, as we have seen in the recent past. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. Finally, I would like to re-echo our call for military courts to stop being used to persecute citizens with different political beliefs, as we have seen for young people like Olivia Lutaya and others who have spent over 3 years in jail, with the court-martial denying them bail, and yet no evidence has been produced in court for their trials to progress, coming to 4 years for some of them. Right Honorable Speaker, this is not right. And it should be condemned by all right-thinking Ugandans, regardless of our political beliefs. In fact, some of these people are constantly being coerced to plead guilty with a promise to be freed since there is no evidence against them to date, and due to desperation and years of uncertainty behind bars, it is easy for someone in such a precarious situation to give in. Also, there are families which 4 years later are still looking for their loved ones who were abducted to no avail. I would like to remind the Right Honorable Prime Minister, who told the nation that John Bosco Chibalama was arrested and is in the hands of the state. Madam Prime Minister, his family is still waiting on you to have him produced in court or freed to return to his loved ones. I say all of this for God and my country.
Thank you.
May
Thank
the Honorable
you so
Sarah Mateke rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I pray and wish that we leave Sarah to rest in peace. And I'm happy you said Sarah was a very good girl. There is another Sarah, some of the Sarahs left behind, called Nyarina Neza. What does it mean? It means good. Nyarina Neza. What does it mean? Kamara.
Nyiraneza is just a Rufumbira word, meaning someone who does good things to other people.
Thank you.
That's what we call Ineza.
Ineza.
Doing good.
So we have another Ineza, Ruth, just seated behind here. Thank you so much. Thank you. And
Joel Ssenyonyi bwatyo ekintu bwakikonye ensonga ya President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine obulumbaganyo bwamukolebwako abadde bajjukira omukyala eyafudde we yali omubaka wa Parliament Honorable Nyirabashits Sala Mateke ono mbaka mukyala abadde w'Ekisolo district yavudde mulamu obwense ennaku zetukubye mabega kabenje ke kamuviirako bino era yali minister wa veteran affairs ne defense wa state omubezi minister omubezi tumusabira omukama omwoyo gwa guwummuza ekisa naye awummule emirembe temu ekitangale kibeera n'ekitangale amwe amummuze mu kitangale eky'oluberera kale alopu gy'osonyiwa ensonga zonna zikonyeeko zonna eziruma bannayuganda zonna abasibe baffe abakonyeeko ensonga president yayogeddeko olwaleero ey'okuba nti bali mu kubakowasinga bali mugezaako bafuuyirira bali mugezaako okubakubirira muno bakkirize mbuno balina emisango gye baza ate nga tewali babasiba emyaka mingi myaka almost ena tebateba ate nga tewali bujulizi General Museveni yagadde okutta President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Bobi Wine maaso ku maaso naye mukama nazza bibye Katonda waffe yasalawo batugamba Prime Minister Nabbanja yatugamba ye mwennyini mwenye nti John Bosco Kibalama amulina he was arrested bamulina naye tebamutuwa ab'enganda ze balinze omuntu wawe tebamulaba nolwekyo bagamba Prime Minister Nabbanja atuwa omuntu waffe abasibe abantu bangi basibiddwa ne batulogonyezibwa ne bakolebwako ebya Sodoma ne Gomora awatali musango na gumu gwe bazza bangi bali mu court martial ate nga teri mu mateeka tebateebwa nga Olivia Lutaya ne bannaffe abalala tebateebwa kwegamba ensonga zonna nga bwe zikwata ku bya defense ate ngono mukyala yali wa defense ne veteran affairs agwabadde bali mu kujjukira byeyakola olunaku olwaleero amutendereza okuba nti yali wa mulembe nnyo naye nti bw'obanga yali wa mulembe naffe tugoberere omulembe gwe yaliko tute abaana batalina musango tukome okutulugunya abantu n'okutta abantu abatuvuganya kubanga nti batuvuganya tuleme okubatya obwere nga kye bakoze President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Then n'ensonga endala nti baganda baffe abali mu uniform balya bubi basula bubi basasulwa bubi ensonga ekyaganya okukolebwako lwaki tekolebwako yandibadde ekolebwako kubanga omukyalo ono bwe yabeerera mu kifo ekyo yali agirwanako nnyo naye biriwo kati Mukama Katonda yamanyi ensonga zogedde bulungi tuyanza nnyo olw'okutyola Ssenyonyi webale nnyo webalege ddala Mukama Katonda yabakutongerera ebirungi ayesobaasobanye ng'obugulu bw'eggongolo mujjukire ennaku z'omwezi 2 omwezi guno tugenda London ajukira House of Common ya London oba Palamenti ya London yamuyita agenda kubeerayo okulungira okutematema ensonga za corruption oba ez'obuli bw'enguzi ziri mu Uganda nenge gyokulaba gye bamwongeramu amaanyi n'obuvumu n'ekibuli okulaba nga tujjawo gavumenti ya Museveni ne President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Bobi Wine bwentyo mbasiibudde Omukama Katonda abankuumire twerabira okwagala video eno okugirayikinga twerabira okusubscribinga ku mukutu gaffe guno tutambuze ekigambo ate era tewerabira okuba memba osobola okuba memba wa channel yaffe eno amma buli kimu nekitambula mulala Omukama akuume mweraba.